Hello, everybody. My name is Becky Draper, and I'm a Vedic astrologer and Ayurveda health coach. And I try to help people align with the rhythms and cycles of nature. And today we are going to talk about the 5 biggest myths of an Ayurveda cleanse. So when people hear the word cleanse, they immediately go to all of the crazy extreme cleanses that they've heard about in the past, especially like it was like the lemon cayenne cleanse that everybody tried, and some people succeeded. I never was able to succeed more than like one day on that thing. And number 1, because I was starving, and number 2, because it was crazy and extreme. So that gets me right into myth number 1, which is it's too hard and I won't be able to do it. And this is simply not true. Number 1, if I can do it, you can do it. I know people say that all the time, but it's not like I am some type of superhero here. I am like a very average person, and I've also guided many people through this cleanse, and I have not had one person not succeed. And in fact, everybody not only has succeeded, but most of them have actually said it was a lot easier than they thought it was going to be. And so I promise, if they can all do it and I can do it, and we're all just like average people, you can do it too. And number 2, the second part of this myth is that cooking khichdi is actually a really simple dish to make. And you can take all the ingredients, throw it into an Instapot and walk away, and it will just cook itself. Or B, you can put everything into a saucepan, turn it on low, cover and simmer, and just come back occasionally and stir. It's a very simple meal to make, and you can multitask while you're making it. And so it really isn't that difficult to incorporate into your daily life. And I will try to make it as easy as possible to help you plan ahead and know exactly how to stay prepared so that you don't run into situations where you don't have enough food and you're hungry and everything's falling apart. In fact, we can design this cleanse in a way that makes it so that you have to think less about what you're going to eat, and you can actually focus more on taking care of yourself. Okay, myth number 2, I don't want to starve. And I could not agree with this more. And that was one of the reasons that all of the other cleanses that I've heard about just don't really sound that appealing to me. Like drinking juice all day, I'm going to be hungry. And I'm probably going to be weak, and I'm probably going to be shaky, and I'm probably going to feel terrible, which it's fine to feel a little bit of the effects of the cleanse. There's definitely going to possibly be headaches or body aches and things like that come up, but we're not going to feel sick or weak or dizzy. And if we do, then we're going to eat, and we're going to make sure that we get that feeling to go away. So that is not what we're doing. Plus, we're going to make sure that we're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We will not be skipping meals, and you're going to eat until you're full. So there's no calorie counting, there's no portion control. This is all about you and how you feel and what you want to eat. And we want to make sure that you're listening to your body, and there's no right or wrong answer here, and everybody's going to have a different answer because everybody will be feeling differently based on where they're at today. And so you will not be starving. If you are hungry, you might be more of I am not satiated, which is something that came up for me. It comes up for me every time as I realize how much I use food to kind of satiate myself, and I'll be kind of nothing is making me feel satiated, but I'm not hungry. And there's a big difference between the two. And then there's also times where, I'm only eating as much khichdi as I actually need to sustain myself, and I may not be going in for that extra helping. And so there's this maybe a little bit of an uncomfortable state between how much food I actually need and how much food my body is used to taking in. And so that doesn't mean I'm hungry either. It's just maybe a little bit of a discomfort as I'm working through that balance. And then myth number 3 is I'm too busy and I need to work And I know what it is like to be very busy, and I also need to work through the cleanse as well. And in fact, I even picked up extra shifts because, why not? But it's because I know that I've done this cleanse 4 times, and I know that I don't feel weak, and that I actually have plenty of energy to work, and that this cleanse does not make it so that I'm so depleted that I can't continue like my normal daily adventures. Yes, I am a little bit more tired on the cleanse and maybe a little more irritable and things are coming up for sure, but it's not to the point where it's debilitating, and it's also very manageable. Like you can really just continue your normal daily life throughout most of this cleanse. It really shouldn't disrupt too many things. And then myth number 4, and on that note, I will help you devise a plan to get you through your work week. So just contact me directly, tell me what your schedule is, and I will help you work through some ideas on like ways that we can make this as easy as possible for you, because I've done this with many people now, and so I know a lot of different tricks and things that can help you that you may not have thought of at this point. So myth number 4 is I don't want to feel depleted. And I agree with this too, because I hate when I feel depleted. And in fact, I wouldn't do this cleanse if it did make me feel depleted. And if anything, we're actually giving our body more nourishment than we typically do. For one, mung bean and rice is all of the nourishment that you need. Like it creates a whole protein, and this is like all the body needs. But then on top of that, we'll be taking in maybe juices and other vegetables. And so we're getting a lot of nutrients during this cleanse. But the body also has a chance to not have to constantly be digesting. And when the body starts to slow down and not just be digesting, it can start to absorb and move nutrients around. And so you might actually find that you end up absorbing more nourishment during this time than you typically do. And you may also be setting your body up, and this is the goal, is that we're going to reset our digestion and we're going to set our body up so that it can absorb nutrients better in the future from here on. And so you're not going to be depleting yourself at all, but if anything, you're going to be giving your body more nourishment than you ever have, typically speaking, potentially. I mean, we're all different, but many of us, we are taking all these vitamins and we're taking all of these foods into our system, but we're not necessarily absorbing it. And it's because our digestion is so backed up and it's absorbing all of these other things. Plus our liver really has to work hard to work through all of these supplements that we're taking and medications that we're taking. And so they don't really get distributed into the body the way that we think that they do. Just because we're taking it in doesn't mean that it's getting absorbed and distributed. And this cleanse will help that. It will give the body a break so that it can reset, and then it will actually help you absorb more nutrients in the future. And then the 4th myth that I hear is I am not a good cook. I don't know how to grocery shop. I don't know how to cook at all. And no, this is not about being a good cook. And I can make this like as simple for you as you need it. I have a step-by-step plan where it starts the day before the cleanse starts, and it has all the things you're gonna do that day to prep for the next day. And then the next day it has like exactly how to start your day and go through the whole day to prepare the day and prepare for the next day. And I have I have a step-by-step plan, and some of you may not need that and you wouldn't like bother with it, and then others of you, it can really help you plan ahead. And so for those of you who don't feel like you're a good cook and don't know how to grocery shop and don't do this stuff on a regular basis, that's totally fine. I have a step-by-step plan that will help you with that. But number 2, if you have an Instapot, like you can just throw all this stuff into the Instapot and walk away. So there's no excuse that you don't know how to use it. Instapots are so easy. And if you don't have an Instapot, then like, okay, I hear you a little bit, but All of this stuff just kind of goes into a saucepan. I'm repeating myself now, so sorry about that. But all this stuff just goes into a saucepan, gets turned on to low and simmered with a lid on, and then it just needs to be checked periodically. And so it's really not any type of fancy cooking. And in fact, it's a very simple way of cooking, and you can multitask while you're cooking. So I typically will start the khichdi in the morning while I'm making the oatmeal. And both of these things are really simple foods to make. And you'll actually find that if you aren't really a cook and you kind of start to implement these practices each morning where you're making your oatmeal and you're making your food, it will actually help you to implement more of this into your life in general. And you may start to take those little steps towards being a better cook or being a better meal planner. And maybe you have just like 1 or 2 meals a week that you plan, but this cleanse can help move you in that direction and give you more ideas of how to prep food and prepare for the day. And so anyway, these are the 5 biggest myths that I hear. And if any of these things were holding you back, I really encourage you to look into this cleanse. It's totally doable. I will leave the link below. If you have any questions, please message me, and I will see you in the next video.